In the past, Barbados relied heavily on the agricultural sector. Today, many believe that it's time to get back to basics by producing more of what we eat. More young people are returning to agriculture, either in the traditional way of animal rearing or crop production, or the non-traditional way of agro-processing or agribusiness. But there's still work to be done. Government has embarked on a program aimed at ensuring food and nutrition security while fostering entrepreneurship within the agricultural sector. In this episode of Agrobeat, we take a look at the Farmers Empowerment and Enfranchisement Drive, FEED, a 3-year program conceptualized by the Ministry of Agriculture and Food Security.
The FEED program was set up by the government and launched in April in 2019 to address the high importation of food imports into the country. The program basically sets to reduce importation of foods and also at the same process creating and developing fresh and nutritional vegetables on the fresh market. The program itself sought to encourage persons to come and register in the program, and that in which case they will be able to expand on the number of enterprises which will involve hydroponics, open field agriculture, aquaponics, apiculture, beekeeping, agroforestry, which is fruit orchard, and those persons then will have the opportunity to develop and branch up and create those enterprises. Now, when we look at the FEED program itself, by providing lands to those same participants who will be trained over a 12-week period, we are anticipating that they will address the main objective of the FEED program, which is to increase the gross domestic product of the country, create employment, reduce poverty, and address the employment with the vulnerable groups, which are the women and our youth. At the same time, increase foreign exchange and create a food security mesh that we need in the country. The FEED program definitely now we're encouraging more youth. So even on average, we are going to do 200 participants in training. The average age is 40, which is a significant drop from the 60. So we are actually putting in young farmers into production, into the land. So there's a succession plan in place. There's also the area of new technology and innovation that the young people bring into the sector, and hence the whole question of the aquaponics and the hydroponics. We can see our young people showing a keen interest in getting to those enterprises.
The program has so far received high interest from individuals with and without agricultural experience, as government seeks to lower the average age of those engaged in agriculture in the island. Some of the participants shared their experience with the program.
I was told about the program through a friend that was doing farming as well, and I was doing farming with her for roughly about a year. And before that, I would have kitchen gardens and farming with other friends, but I've never had my own space to do the farming. The program has been very instrumental in allowing me to have the space in order to grow the products I need to do to reinforce women in agriculture and start to build out eco-villages that we can have like sustainable economies for us as a people and as a society and as a regional, collective. The focus of the FEED program, they did a lot of agroforestry. That was my main area. That's why I'm in the Scotland district, and there's a lot of land slippage. We've gotten trees that would help keep the land from sliding, and also what I decided to do is to multi-crop instead of just growing the trees and the fruit trees. We've also gotten fruit trees as well that we have to plant, and that is one of the packages with the agroforestry part of it.
We heard an ad on the radio that they were training farmers. So we initially went to deal with sheep. But sheep happened to be a very long process. So we went for the shorter crop. Obviously, you're looking at making money to get into meat rabbits and stuff like that. So that's basically how it started with an ad on the radio.
The program was very hands-on. It was both theory and practical. For me, I mostly enjoyed the practical part because that's how I learn. And they were very detailed and provided you with a lot of hands-on information. You actually had to deal with the rabbits. You had to kill rabbits and see how you skin them and how the whole process is done. Deal with sheep and sheep that has cysts and when you stick. It was very detailed and graphic, but it provides you with a lot of information and it helped you to, like we said, we went into it to deal with sheep. But then we realized the rabbits are a lot easier, I would say, to deal with. The turnover is a lot shorter as it relates to when they become pregnant.
It was always a passion of mine to do farming, and the feed program gave me the opportunity to see if I could manage it. And so far so good. Well, in the feed program, we did a lot. They taught us about first how to prepare the land, and we went through different stages in preparing the land. We also had a practical, which was we had an acre to work. And doing that is what also taught me about the kind of focus and effort that you have to put in as a farmer and how hard it is to do acreage instead of just a small kitchen garden. It's a totally different ball game.
The feed program is a wonderful opportunity, and obviously to help feed the island, provide healthy stuff or healthy food for my island. Here at the MC, they provide drip and obviously irrigation water. The rates as well, much more reasonable, and pretty much we located just above the gate MC, so and then things will be much easier than with the transition in terms of plowing and furrowing, etc.
For many, the program has been timely, as they all work towards building their individual businesses.
With these rabbits that we produce, we normally provide supermarkets and the neighborhood persons and stuff like that. The rabbits sell pretty good, right? That's basically the way forward.
Just to continue and to increase, because we would have slowed down the breeding process because of the whole COVID happened, supermarkets wasn't taking and stuff. So now we just want to ramp back up with the breeding process and just continue. We really want to encourage persons to get into it too, because it is not hard and is and is an easy way, and you can make money off of every aspect of a rabbit. It might be the down, the pelts, the rabbit ears, the meat, the urine, everything. So for somebody who, COVID happened, a lot of persons out to work, it just encourage people to get into it. Persons that we talk to in our little group chat and stuff, just encouraging persons, and we just want to ramp up and just get back out there with it, because we have really slowed down because obviously we weren't producing as giving out as much as we would because of the COVID.
The crops that I have started to plant, initially I got the program started in June. It's a 3-month program. It finished in August, and I was granted the lands in November. And I got everything together, discussed with my partner, and we decided that we start planting in January. So we planted coconuts. We planted maybe about 80 coconuts and about 50 plantains, 50 bananas. That's how we started. And we also were granted five flamboyant trees, 5 neem trees, 10 fiddle wood, and about 13 jamuns, which are all on the land as well, and those were contributed from the soil conservation. And we have some more fruit trees that we would add in, and you are granted 70 fruit trees with each 3 acres that you are allotted. So those are to go in as well. And my food crops I first started with pumpkins. So have about an acre or so of pumpkins planted, cassava, which are now reaping. The cassava and the pumpkins are now being reaped. And then we went on in March to plant tomatoes. We planted watermelons, cantaloupes, honeydew, sweet peppers, hot peppers, sweet potatoes, squash, and yeah, so that's basically about the products. And turmeric also, we have some turmeric and some sorrel. We've planted sorrel so that could be ready for the end of the year, and beans as well.
The individuals shared the way forward for their respective businesses. They all believe it's extremely important for the island to produce more food.
If you're a person that love planting and love to grow stuff and love to see that kind of thing, yes, I would advise you to do the program, because the program was educational for me, because a lot that I didn't know, I ended up being taught from the extension officers. Sun hot, let me tell you. So if you're into this, you gotta be prepared to. It's a love, it's a labor of love, and if you ain't got that, find something else to do. Go fishing, do something else. We should be able to feed ourselves instead of having so much produce being imported. We should be able to feed ourselves as a nation. It has to do with love too. If you don't have the love for it, I wouldn't advise people to get into it, because it is taxing as in labor and cost. Because the amount of money you have to spend to maintain, to make sure you get a proper product, right, is fairly high.
Thankfully, you get some sunlight recent. They're pretty dry, ain't a lot of cleaning you can already do, if you understand. Most of them come up pretty clean and good. And then obviously with the sunlight then too, they get a little dry. You could have found. Agriculture though, it could be tough work though, and challenging at times. But I would say yes, because obviously you're trying to get persons to eat more healthy and take care of themselves.
They allocated one acre, and the thing about it, we still intend to go into sheep, but obviously to run free. We want to do sheep, we call it free ranging, instead of building pens and stuff like that, because we got another idea for the land that will shelter the sheep other than pens. Yeah.
Having more persons in agriculture is very important. This is a part of building out food security and our strength as a nation. We've all been through the COVID crisis recently, and we've realized how important the agriculture is, and many people have started their home gardens and everything. So I want to tell all those people that have gone to purchase different things, to start the seeds, purchase their watering cans, purchase all these things to start their home gardens, to look at expanding it further, and to encourage the women out there who are seeking to connect back to the land to come and join us at the feed program. The next stage is the apothecary, where we would have the herbal medicines, also creating products. We think that agriculture is just growing food. Agriculture consists of the products that can come off of it, whether you make preserved foods, whether you do medicines, whether you do nutraceuticals, whatever it is. And also teaching is a very important part. All of these things are things that we can bring back together, and that's the aim for the project, to bring in as much people that we can to solidify and have our organizations integrate nonprofits.
There is no denying that the island stands to benefit if more persons invest in the agricultural sector, and that there is a need to find creative ways to get them involved.